Welcome to Blogging with Programmers. My name is Lewis Davidson. Today, I want to talk about the use of AI I've already talked a little bit about this before, but the thing I want to talk about today is how do I know you're using AI? Usually it's because it's a mess. And I hear a lot of people say things like AI slop. Okay. AI does put out a lot of slop, and that's the problem. But the problem is not that AI puts out slop. People put out slop. If you go and you say, I want to write an article on SQL Server's new feature or PowerShell's new feature or how you build an array in C# on a Tuesday, whatever. And you do a query in Google and you look at the results and you go, that result, and you read that result and you just parrot what they say and it's wrong. Still slop. If you make up stuff, slop, right? The whole slop thing is on you, not on the AI. Now that's tough, right? So you can't really just trust AI is correct. It's you'd like to, right? It's just like when you go to Google and you look at results and you go, was these good results? I want to see the menu for a restaurant the other day. I went to the menu, I did my search, I looked at the prices. And apparently a chicken sandwich at this restaurant near my house was $1.28. There were other things at $1.28. So if I wrote an article and I said these things were $1.28, and I had a big following of people who like chicken sandwiches, and they all the next day go down to the restaurant. Man, this is a good deal. I've heard you have $1.28. And they're like, no, that's $12.88. And you're like, oh, well, this influencer said, well, this influencer's full of it, right? So that's what you have to understand. You need to listen to results. If something doesn't feel right, then you shouldn't publish it. If you don't know if it feels right, you should not be using AI. You should not, okay? And that's why you get into things like code. It's easy to test code. If an AI tool gives me some code to run, I look at it, I scan it, I know what it says, and I use it. If I'm going to use some sort of compiled code, I'm probably going to, make sure I see others said this has been certified. It's been okayed by a company like Microsoft or Google or Apple or somebody who knows what the heck they're doing beyond me with a DLL, because that DLL could be doing all sorts of things. Another thing I want to just briefly touch on is not telling me it's AI. So a lot of people put out these articles, like I put on my board here, and it seems like they go, please write me a blog and give me some illustrations to go along with it. And they're just terrible, right? Sometimes it's spelling errors. Okay, let's just be fair. But most of the times it's not spelling errors. It's just errors. It's not well defined. That doesn't make complete sense. And you go, why did you not know that? And it's a great technique. Okay. I've talked about engagement farming a little bit in the past, and it's a great technique to get, engagement. You put up mildly wrong things and nobody knows you. If you get enough people to look at it, some people will say, no, this isn't right. And then the next person will say, you are correct. It's not right. And more people interact with it. I don't understand it. If it's something that's good, most people don't even like it. They just read over it and they go, okay. And that doesn't bring in the engagement necessarily. It depends on the tool you're using or the venue. Like sometimes you'll just get the same amount of reads from a looky load as a person who really reads it as a person who likes it. But we want the like. The like is that special bit. And there's no downvoting most things on social media. Because if you do, there's just going to be hate downvotes coming up. So again, to conclude this rather short episode, like they all are, these are just tips. Don't tell me you're using AI. I get a lot of that. You see people go, I used AI and I found the answer. That's great. And then add in, and I checked it, right? It's okay to use AI. It's a source. Say you use that source. Just like I've talked in the past about giving your sources. Always give your sources. If there's links in the AI tool you get, check those links out. See what those links are. I'm not going to lie, AI is so much better these days than reading a bunch of blogs that are that only have a little bit of goodness in them. There's a lot of clickbait out there that the bait isn't worth the catch, because you get there and you're like, SQL Server has a new feature. There's a new ride at Disney World, and then there's 15 pages of stuff about what SQL Server is and you know, other RBMSs, because got to compare those before you say, oh yeah, they have this new thing called Date Bucket. I just wrote an article on that last week. So to conclude, use AI, make sure you know what you're putting out, and don't let it look like AI. Make it look like it's yours. All right, thank you very much. Bye.